Hello, Stampin' friends. How are you tonight? Say hello to my other friends. We're excited to be with you tonight, and I really hope some of you are able to get on live and join us for a Q&A. My name is Candice Anderson. I'm in Hiram, Utah, and we have Rachel. Say hello, Rachel.
Hi.
And where are you at, Rachel?
California.
And we have Lynda.
And I'm in West Jordan, Utah.
And Amelia.
And I am in Hyde Park, 20 minutes north of Candice.
And if you haven't watched any of our previous ones, you may not know this. We're all friends in Stampin' Up! Together. That's how we met. None of us would have known each other if it wasn't for Stampin' Up! And the group we're in. And I think I can say for all of us, we're very grateful that we've all been able to be friends and join in this together. I'm going to hurry really quick here and turn on the chat just in case any of you guys leave a message. Then we can see what you're saying. And anybody of you three want to start with the first question, or a little bit more introductions is what we are starting with a little bit here, or should we just go in a circle?
Let's just go in a circle.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go last. So Rachel,
Okay.
you get to go first. And our first question that we had posed to our own group and we thought you guys would be interested in is, what got you started in scrapbooking in the first place, and what was your first project? Do you still have it, and can you share?
I do. So actually started about 20 years ago when I was in a family housing scrapbooking club. So my husband was in college and they had a group that spouses could join, that the RAs had to put on in order to be in that position. And so one of them was free scrapbooking class. And I was like, yes, all I had to do was bring my own photos and they provide all the paper and adhesives. And I started scrapbooking. Knowing absolutely nothing. They didn't teach me anything. They just gave me supplies. So my first thing I ever did was a scrapbook for the only child I had at the time, which is my oldest, and she's now 21. And it is so funny looking through this now and seeing like, part of me really wants to redo the whole thing. And the other part of me says it's kind of like a time capsule of how and what supplies I had. I guess I was really big into those scissors. I used to cut off like the different angles of them, and rounded corners. That was huge too for me. I have lots of rounded corners in my photos in here, but it was super fun to look through it today. And I even grabbed one of the pages out of it that was from Disney World when we went, when they were just, my two girls were just little at the time. So, and this one was all of one child, and then it has morphed more into a like family type of stamping now, or scrapbooking, since I have now 4 children, and she's the only one that got her own album, which is pretty sad, but that's how I got started, at least. I think that, and that was my first project. Let's go next
fun.
to
all right
Lynda.
We're going to switch to Lynda, and hopefully I'm going to try. There we go. Oh, hang on.
So are you me? Okay, there we go.
See it a little bit bigger.
So I got my first set of scrapbooking products when I was 17. That's what my mom gave me for my 17th birthday. And so then I had to convince her to give me some pictures to go with it because I wanted to start scrapbooking. So I did find, this is like one of the first scrapbook pages I ever did. Let's see, here we go. And I think it's funny because, sorry, I'm going to have to figure out how to orient with my camera. Like right here, like instead of having stamps, I would just print something on a piece of paper and color it and cut it out.
Yep.
And then of course stickers, and that was about it. And the scissors. See, you can see the scissors right there.
Yeah, I noticed
that was a huge thing, right? Anyway,
Yep.
I'm kind of like Rachel. Like sometimes I look at my pages and I want to cringe. But at the same time, I agree with her that it's like a time capsule. And then, so that was like my first scrapbook page ever. And then this is probably like one of my first Stampin' Up! Scrapbook pages. Do you guys remember the stamps that this little guy was in?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
so anyway, I think I've improved. I had improved a lot from the time I first started scrapbooking to this. But and then the other one I found that I thought was fun is this is one of the first kit, like not first, but like when I joined Stampin' Up, we had kits. And so this was one of the kits they had, like they had stickers and all sorts of different
Yep.
stuff. So anyway,
I had that kit. I
but
still
yeah.
do.
So yeah, so and I just have done it ever since, and I love it. And I always tell the story that I decided to scrapbook, you know, my first child, and then when the second one came along, I had them both caught up, and then when the third one came along, it all went downhill from there. So, anyways.
I think we can all relate to that a little bit. All right,
Yep.
are you ready, Amelia?
Yes, yes. You saw me
Okay.
moving.
Oh, hang on. There we go. You
Okay,
are
so
up.
I'm up. I started scrapbooking when I was probably, well, let's put it this way. The first scrapbook I ever did when I was about 10 or 12, and I did 4-H for many, many years, and we had to create a scrapbook for, or a personal history. So this is the front page that I showed of, and it was just paper. It's not even like cardstock. And then I wrote this little thing over here on the back, and there's a picture of me all dressed up weird when I was a little kid. So that was like the first little scrapbook I created, kind of a little history. And then after that, I took it apart and added other things to it. And then I loved what that Lynda showed her first Stampin' Up page. So I don't remember my first, but here are two of my first. Let me see if I can do it. It's all, sorry, the camera. Okay, maybe
You made your own DSP. I love it.
but this is actually vellum. Okay.
Oh yeah, okay.
Okay, I'm gonna hold up this one. I gotta just do one page at a time.
Yeah.
And so
Very
these were
cute.
stamps. I love these stamps, lemon, all citrus. And so I stamped on, and do you see the little punch
Yeah.
that
Oh,
made the
Oh.
corner and slipped the vellum inside?
Oh wow.
Yes,
See,
I
there's
can
the-
see that. Okay.
I
Anyway,
do remember
this
that.
was my oldest's first birthday. She's
So
26 now.
Amelia said it's an 8.5 by 11.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was 8.5 by 11. Most of the first, probably my oldest and second oldest scrapbooks, they're the first, I don't know, 4 or 5 were all 8.5 by 11.
My oldest was that way too.
Yeah.
So
it was a lot of fun. My sister also, she was really into scrapbooking. She had done making memories or not making memories. What's
creative
the one?
memories.
Yes, yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I learned a lot from her and did fun stuff.
Fun.
Lots of good memories.
All right, we're going to switch to me. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed that. And I should have grabbed some of my older stuff. The first ones I can remember that I have, I was like Amelia. I was probably maybe 10. And I remember finding it, and it's somewhere. And I remember looking and going, I just need to pull this apart and redo it all. My first pages before I became a demonstrator are much like Amelia's. They're 8.5 by 11, but when I became a demonstrator and I switched to 12 by 12, I should have grabbed some of them. I put them on a 12 by 12 page and added to them. So
That's a good
that's what I
idea.
did. But the one I grabbed out, I'm going to actually show two different ones here because this one here, and let's see, I don't even know what's the best page, but I don't know if you guys remember these, but we used to have
Cute.
these 6x6 calendars that you could make. And I went to a class that we made these, and this was the very first like Stampin' Up event that I really went to. And I decided that I was going to make 3 of these. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but it is why I became a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, because I went and I learned so many fun techniques, and I went, I didn't know you can do that with stamps. Oh my gosh, this is so awesome. So yeah, it was super fun. I still have it. I made, oh no, not 3. I made 4. I made one for my mom, one for my mother-in-law, one for my grandma, and one for my husband. And so, brings back lots of fun memories. But that was my first introduction to really going to a Stampin' Up! Thing. I had bought stuff but didn't really know what to do with it. But I became a demonstrator after this, which is almost 20 years ago. But I do have my very first Stampin' Up! Page that I did. And much like Lynda, it is one of the kits that we used to have. So this is my boys when they were little, but you can see this is the paper. These are some of the little stickers it came with. I still have, I think, almost every single, in fact, probably not almost, probably every single alphabet set that I've bought over the years. I still have them. That's the second page with the
Cute.
journaling. This is stamped with Versamark, and then I used the chalks
Yeah.
to do it. Back when I first started, that was the way to go to get all the colors. You bought the
Right.
the chalk, and you bought the Versamark, and you didn't have to buy anything else, and a black ink pad, and you could get all the colors in one. And so, that was my first introduction. I think these are done the same way. But anyway, those are my first projects, how I got started. And I have scrapbooked on and off in multiple different ways for over 20 years since I became a demonstrator. But obviously, I did it a lot prior to that. So our next question, I'm going to change it up a little bit from the idea that we wrote down here. But the question, and I'm going to start with you, Amelia, because this was Amelia's idea. If you did not know that already, this scrapped idea was her idea to get us all together and do this. And I'm really glad she did. But what inspires you to scrapbook? What inspired you, we kind of talked about in the past, but now I know Rachel's jumping back into it. So what's making you do it now?
So, probably what inspires me the most, or makes me want to scrapbook the most, is looking at photos of things that I've done with my family. And it just brings up all the fun emotions that we had when we were doing stuff together. And I just want to get those memories in on a scrapbook page. I also listen to a podcast, and they have a lot of story prompts. And whenever I listen to them, I'm like, oh. And then I think about stories from my childhood and other stories. So it's all my family and the memories that I want to remember. The memories I want to remember. That's what inspires me.
Love it. All right. Rachel, you're up next.
All right. So I've kind of morphed throughout the years, and the method and my why I scrapbook. Right now, I'm getting back into it because I'm so far behind, and I didn't know where to start. So I picked a big event, and I'm going to do a long period of time. So like a year and a half of this event that was happening. In particular, I'm focusing on my daughter, who has her
the oldest
TV album. It's going to
On again.
I know. We don't have favorites, right? I don't have favorites, but she gets all the first pancakes. So if it's a flop, it's going to be fun. But if it is amazing, then she'll get the first one. So that's what has me going right now. I was looking through one of my old albums, and I actually used to do it by months. So since I have a family of 6, 4 kids, and I was like, how can I get back into scrapbooking when I only have one baby album kind of done? And I decided to start doing month and moments, which I really liked. And it was kind of like a calendar of the year of the album. And I was just looking through the one I was, one of my older ones when I just had 3 kids. And I was like, I love this. This is how I want to start doing it again with my same method, though. So I'm working on that one big event, and then I want to have it on a monthly things that happen in each month for that year is my why and how. I'm really good about sharing on social media photos, and I've put things in albums there, and for a long time I called that good. I'm like, hey, I have my photos, they're all organized in a spot. But I like the tangible, I like the idea of my kids having to go grab it off the bookshelf and they can start looking at things and then share it with their friends and stuff. And so that's probably my why now as well. I want them to be able to have easy access to it and be able to just look back in time, kind of like a time machine when we are doing these older ones. So that's what has me my why for why I'm doing it now and why I did it in the past and how I did it.
Love it. All right, Lynda, I'm gonna switch. Maybe move. There we go. You're
Okay,
up.
so I was thinking about it, and my reasons are kind of a lot like the ones that have already been said. I feel like it's a form of my family history, and I feel it's strong, or I feel it's important to record our stories, and that's how I kind of look at scrapbooking. It's not so much just, I don't know, pictures of my kids' lives. It's the stories and the things that happened. And I love when my kids pull out their scrapbooks and look at them. And they love it too. Like it's one of their favorite things, and they actually get along when they do it. So, that's a good thing. But I love it for that reason. And I just think it's important to preserve those memories. And then as far as like being inspired, I was thinking, I kind of took the question a little differently. Like I get inspired to actually do my scrapbooking when I see other people's stuff. So like when I'm scrolling through on social media, I'm like, oh yeah, I really like that. I want to do my scrapbooking, or I'll watch videos and, oh yeah, I want to do that. I've seen that. And so anyway, I think by watching other people, it kind of inspires you to be, motivated to do it. And so that's why I like to do my scrapbooking.
Well, great answers. All right, I guess I'm up next. I'm going to be the oddball out a little bit, I guess, here. I actually do it for some of those reasons, but I also really do it because I just enjoy it. I like creating. It's my happy time. It's my me time. It's one of the things I do for myself. I love making like scrapbook things for like mini albums and stuff for people as gifts. I just made a baby one for a baby shower. I think it's a fun way for them to preserve their memories. I do like preserving memories. Uh, Inspiration for me comes a lot of different things. Sometimes it's the picture that I want to do, like this one that you can see back behind here. I was actually inspired by the book cover, and my niece and I went to a book signing, and so I used her book cover to then make the scrapbook page and make her a card, and that was really fun, and I wanted to put it down. But I'm also sometimes just have a certain stamp set, again, like the other one of we talked about this one when we were on our trip. You can watch the video on that one, but that is the 4 of us on our trip, and we are in the restaurant, and I was like, oh, I have the stamp set, I've got to make a scrapbook page for this. And so lots of different things inspire me. Sometimes I see something, somebody else's page. Sometimes I just want to try something, like taking a paper pumpkin kit and turning it into a scrapbook page. I have a lot that I need to add pictures to, so I'm trying to be better about starting with the pictures and going from there. But I also do love to have the books. I don't scrapbook in any kind of order unless I'm doing some kind of a special event or a book for like a trip or something. So mine are kind of all over the place, but I love to sit down with my kids. I've got three of them that are older, and I love to sit down and they'll sit down and ask about the pictures and questions. And, oh, I remember this. And yes, just like Lynda said, they're like, they get along. Oh, wow. I remember this. Oh, that was fun. And then they start telling their own stories. And one of these days, I probably need to record it while I'm doing it, so I have those stories to go along with everything that the pictures are. So those are my reasons why. And oh, I liked this question. Amelia came up with most of these questions, by the way. She's our little inspiration when it comes to everything here. But, and she gave a little hint as to, I think, how she does some of hers. But how do you get started on your page? Do you start with your photos, a sketch, products, stories? I'm going to kind of go first because I already said this a little bit, but uh, me, it depends on what I'm doing. I've started with pictures, I've started with a stamp set. It really depends on what I'm doing. I do kind of a little bit of everything. Sometimes it's a sketch challenge, sometimes it's a product challenge. I do a little bit of variety. And we're gonna, let's see, who did we go with first last time? We're gonna start with Lynda this time. Lynda, you're up.
Okay, so 90% of the time I will start with photos and then I go from there. And usually I'll find a sketch next because you know, depending on how many photos you have, then that means that's kind of the sketch you can pick out, right? And then I'll go, you know, with paper and embellishments and that kind of thing. But yeah, 90% of the time it's the pictures first for me. Um, but it's kind of funny. Like when I look through the catalog, I totally look through the catalog with the eye of a scrapbooker saying, you know, what can I use? What can I use on a scrapbook page? As opposed to just making cards. So stamp sets are a big deal, but yeah, 90% of the time I start with my photos that I have. So
Good answer. Again, I need to be better about that. All right, we're gonna switch to you, Amelia. You're up.
So I don't know if there's one particular thing, but probably pictures, sketches, or if I see like a scrapbook page that I'm like, I want to do that. I love that look or that design. And then I'll just go and look for pictures to fit what I want. So probably those three things: the photos, and then a sketch, and then just like I guess the design that I've already seen is pretty much the same as a sketch, but those three things probably rotate between those three.
Good answer. All right, Rachel, how about you?
All right. So I, like you guys, start with my photos and then I pick my colors. I usually pick my colors based on the designer series paper or the memories and more pack I decide to use. And that's how I start my design. I'm getting better at looking at layouts, but usually it's whatever the photo size, because I'll trim the photos down a little bit, but I usually just print them off and say, okay, what fits here? And then I will make a layout based on the size of my photo. So I'm definitely a lot photo based versus layout based, and it's working so far. And I like that I don't have to think about the colors because Stampin' Up! Products coordinate beautifully, and so that's one less thing for me to think about. I like quick and easy, and the memories and more. That's also my go-to method because I don't have to think about if this pattern is going to match with that pattern or however, and it's just already thought out for me, and I just have to add my photos where I want them. So
It
photos
definitely
then.
makes it faster.
Yes.
I do that a lot of times too. I'll look at the colors of the photo and say, oh, okay, we're going to go with this because it works well with these. But all right, I guess I could switch back to me here really quick. I'm going to combine these two questions together. So, what is your favorite tool when you're scrapbooking in general? any tool, and it can be Stampin' Up! Or non-Stampin' Up!, but we'd love to hear your Stampin' Up! One since we're all Stampin' Up! Demonstrators. And then what is your favorite scrapbooking product, specifically scrapbooking product? And who, we're going to put Amelia on the spot first.
So I think my favorite tool is just my paper trimmer. It's just, but I love a good paper trimmer. I love one that will, and Stampin' Up! Is a great one. You can make your pictures nice and square. I love to use it to put mats on my photos, trim down. It's just, that's something that's just always right there on my desk. And then the favorite scrapbooking product is probably pattern paper. There's just so much you can do with it. You can cut up and use little pieces of paper, or you can use your scraps, or you can use a big piece for your background. Pattern paper is just super versatile. So those
Good
are some of my
answer.
faves.
All right, Rachel, your turn again.
Okay. Oh, Amelia, you stole mine. I was also going to say the paper trimmer. We had it out because this is definitely one of the things I use the most. And I think every paper crafter needs to have. Like, you can't start without that, I believe, especially since I cannot cut straight to save my life. And I think that's why I used those scissors in the beginning that had all the different sizes or shapes to it. You couldn't tell, but it was super crooked. So I love my paper trimmer. That's definitely one of the most used tools I have for scrapbooking. But then my favorite product, I've mentioned it a little bit already, are the Memories and More card packs. Because I can use those for both card making and scrapbooking. So it's both of the things that I love. And then it's already made up for me. So I just need to mix and match the ones I like. And I love it when they come out with new ones and I can use those up. But yeah, I think that's usually my go-to. I have one other item, but I'm not going to say it because I think someone else is going to say that they use this the most with theirs. But if not, I'll come back to it.
All right. And Lynda, right?
Yep.
Trying to
My
keep
favorite, my favorite tool is actually a 3-inch. It's a 3-inch by 12-inch clear ruler. It's actually made for fabric. That's why I have it, is because I used to do fabric stuff. But I love it because I can line it up on my paper, and then that's how I get all of my things straight. And so that's probably my most favorite tool that I have. And then I have to agree with Amelia. DSP is my most favorite. Like, that's the very most important thing that goes down first after I've picked my photos, is what paper am I using? Because paper gives you a design element. It gives you your colors. And so, and then I'd say second after paper is embellishments. But the first is definitely DSP. That definitely drives the fill of the page for me. So.
All right. This one, I don't know if you would call it a tool, but to me, it kind of is. Mine would be the colors. I love that we have everything in all the different colors and how they coordinate, and it just makes it easy for me. Kind of like Rachel said, the Memories and More do. The, oh, where is it? I hid it somewhere. But the little color wheel that helps you decide colors, and just all of our colors. I know, I remember when I very first started scrapbooking, and
Oh, look, Amelia has it.
There we go. Yep, that. When I first started scrapbooking, I went and I bought all of these different designer papers because I agree, I love the designer papers. But then I couldn't find solid colors that matched, or an ink or a stamp or whatever. And so to me, that was life changing when I switched to Stampin' Up! Because my ribbons matched, my inks matched, my papers matched, my designer series papers matched. It didn't matter what I was using, it matched. And that just made life easier, way easier for me. So that's probably my favorite tool, is our colors. And back onto those colors and papers. my favorite product right now for scrapbooking that we have available is our two-tones cardstock. I wasn't sure I was going to like it because, hang on, I'm going to add Lynda back in here really quick. There we go.
There
I
we
wasn't
go.
sure I was going to like it because um, it's not quite as heavy as our older stuff, but the more I've played with it, I love that I can cut it up, I can tear it, I can throw it through an embossing, I can sand on it. It's got the two different sides, so I can get a variety of color when I'm doing my pages, and I found that I really like it more than I thought I would, and I keep buying more and more. I like that it comes in the packs of different colors too, so I can get a variety pack and not buy the full thing. So we're gonna run back to Rachel because I have a feeling we didn't say what your
We
other
didn't say
product was.
it. I was guessing someone was going to say letter dies. Like I
I
feel like
thought about
everyone
that.
uses letter dies on all of their pages because it's you can make your own words up, which is nice. And then we just keep on collecting every single die that comes out with letters. We're like, oh, I have the alphabet, but let's have it in 10 different fonts. So that's I think one of our favorite tools as well.
That's a good one.
Amen.
I'm gonna agree with you on that one. And like I said, I still have, I think, every single alphabet stamp set. And when I'm scrapbooking those, yep, I pull those out. So you may have even seen it on some of my pages because there's not a whole lot of them available. And even the alphabet dice, there's not a lot currently available, and they're not cheap, especially the dice. And so, yep, I save them, I use them. I love the big ones. I've used them for all kinds of other fun projects and stuff. And what is your favorite way to scrapbook? That is the last question I have here. If you, I know there's a few people out there watching. If you guys have some questions, throw them in the chat. We'd be happy to answer them for you. Hopefully, you're getting some great ideas from everybody. But let's see, who hasn't had a chance to go first? I don't know if you have or not, Lynda, but we're throwing you on first as she's contemplating or eating or
Okay.
drinking or something. I caught her in the middle. But yes, what is your favorite way to scrapbook?
So, my favorite way to scrapbook is, I don't know, it's the way I started. So I'm not sure that it's my favorite way, but I decided to do each of my kids has their own albums. One of the things that I started doing a long time ago is I create pages in mass production, meaning, if we're all at Christmas, then we all have the same Christmas page. I don't create a different Christmas page for each kid for the year 25, 2024. I just do the same one because it cuts down on the thinking, which is a big thing to have to think that much. But the other way that I really like doing it is for me, I realized that hopefully my kids will take their scrapbooks when they leave. They don't have to, but if they want to, they can. And so then I'm like, what do I have left after that? So I have a family album that I do, and I do that on a month-to-month basis. And so that's probably my favorite way to scrapbook, if I could do it all the time, would be to do mini scrapbooks, meaning like 6x8 albums, because I just love those the most. But they're not very like friendly in the way that you can only get a few pictures in them, not a ton. So I stick with 12x12 for that reason.
Great ideas there. I love that your kids have ones to go home with. I think that's what my kids don't like. I'm like, you can make a colored copy because I'm not making another one. Sorry. But definitely easier to do a whole bunch of them at once when you're
Yeah.
doing them. All right, Rachel, you've already kind of mentioned a little bit, but do you want to expand a little bit more?
So I'm gonna show you. This is the one I'm working on. You guys have seen it in my videos. If you've seen our scrap, I know it's in the page protector, so it'll have a little glare. So I apologize, but I love the pocket method. is the way that I've been doing it lately. And in fact, I even did it a long time ago with a whole nother album. So let me grab that one up real quick too, just to show you. This was my coon family in a year. You can kind of see it's pretty big. And I literally just had pockets where I would add things in. And it had lots of photos for it and some potential journaling as well. So I love it if Stampin' Up! Had something this big, because like I love this one.
We used to.
Yes.
You could still, honestly, though, because you can buy those page protectors and you can use the memories and more in a bigger one like that. Because I bet you a lot of the pieces would still fit in
They
something
do.
like
They
that.
do.
Or you can make your own.
I think that's what I'm
So
gonna do. Like have this be like a single event, and then my year one, I think I'm gonna grab a larger album, because I would have to have like part 1, part 2, part 3 in order to fit a whole year's worth of photos. But I do love this one for the event stamping or scrapbooking, for that smaller one, a little bit more compactable. I like Lynda's idea of making one and a design and then mass producing. I don't know if I'll be that ambitious though. So I might be like, when you come visit grandma's house, that's when you can share with your children your album. But
we'll come to grandma's house.
Not yet, but eventually when kids come back with their own families, it'll probably just be something special they do here. But I'm inspired by you, Lynda. You're so good, and you've been doing this for a while. So
well, I was gonna say, ask my youngest daughter if I'm so good.
Oh no.
She only, kind of like you, she has one album, and I think my oldest has at least 6. So
yeah.
Well, they've got more years on her. All right, Amelia, you are up.
So, my favorite is probably to, I'd call it traditional scrapbooking, just on a 12 by 12 or 8.5 by 11 layout. I used to always do 2-page spreads, but after a while, I realized I can fit a lot of pictures on one page. So I'll show you a page I did recently. This is just one. Gotta figure out how to get it in.
Oh, that's so cute.
So this is using the newer scrapbook kit that. Oh yeah, see.
Now it's going way away.
Is that my camera doing that? That's so weird. Anyway, so I've got 6 pictures on one page. I don't know which way to move it because it's backwards. Anyway, let me just peek out from behind it, guys. So I love getting as many pictures as I can. But also if it's just 1 or 2 pictures to tell the story, then a 1-page layout works great for that too. So I do love a 12 by 12 page. That's my thing.
Awesome. Okay, anybody who's watched my scraps is going to know I'm a huge fan of the double page layout. I also am a little bit weird in how I do my pictures themselves. Again, if you've watched some of them, I've explained it, but my mom happens to own a copy center. So she has this giant printer. So that means I don't have to print my pictures out to any certain size or any certain anything, really. So I usually kind of scrapbook and figure out what I want picture wise. Now, a lot of times they are traditional sizes, but a lot of times they aren't. And so I typically will kind of figure out what pictures. And if I want a bunch of pictures, I'm going to actually show you one here that I did a while back. But this is one picture that was printed. And so I kind of combined like a digital scrapbooking with my traditional, which is all of this. So this is one picture that I put it all on. This is the second one. second page. And so I was able to get a lot of pictures on one page by simply doing the pictures all printed on a thing. So I do love the option of being able to print a little bit differently, and it allows me to scrapbook how I want them. It allows me to fit more on a page or less on a page depending on what I'm doing. But I also, my older kids, their pictures are all printed, and some of them are 3x5 and some of them are 4x6 and stuff like that. So it depends on what I'm scrapbooking, when I'm scrapbooking. My kids do not have their own albums, with the exception of a few that I did in digital. And believe it or not, those are my younger two that have those, because that's when the digital came out, and so I was able to make them. I traditionally kind of scrapbook whatever I feel like scrapbooking. There is no rhyme or reason, and half of them are, the pages are sitting there ready to go in a book because there's no order in the books, because it's whatever I feel like doing, unless I'm doing a specific event. And I do have several that are books for a specific like trip that I went on, or I love the 8x8 albums. Although I haven't used the memories and more in them when I've made them, but for every one of my nieces, nephews, and my kids, when they got married, they got an 8x8 album that I made specifically with things for them to add their pictures in and quotes. And it's a little wedding album. I love decorating the front of it, and it's usually whatever their wedding colors are, and fun stuff and quotes, and I like those ones. I love doing those ones because they're oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Because it's the same. The whole thing, I use theme all the way through the entire book that I make for them. And like I mentioned before, I love to give. I like to make it and give it away. I like doing things like this, which is a little like a tabletop album that you can make for things. So I have a variety of things that I like to do. Again, I do it just because I enjoy it, but I also like to go back and look at them. It was fun to go back and look for these, find the pictures to share with you, the pages, and I've shared them before, and I love doing them for my kids. And yep, they've got to come to grandma's house if they want to show them off, or to their spouses. I do have two married and 2.5 grandkids. I have a new one on the way that we're doing gender reveal party for on Saturday. I'm so excited. Um, and of course, my son. I just have to say this. He texts me and he's like, "Mom, you're crafty, right?" And I'm like, yeah." And he's like, "Can you do something like this? I have to show you. It's really cute." So I'm grabbing out an old stamp set, and it will have the little bottoms and then the little toppers, and they can write their names. We're gonna build little ice cream cones to see
To
girl or boy
guess. Yeah,
to
that's
guess
fun.
what's your
Awesome.
vote. So I got to get that finished for him. But I'm like, I'm crafty. I think it was meant as a joke, but it's like, get away from, get mom to help.
Loaded question.
Yeah, pretty
What do you
much.
Buttering
want?
you up.
Oh, I
So,
love
but
it.
yeah, but they love to come with their spouses and look through the books and memories and stuff like that. And so they do get looked through quite often, which makes me happy. I probably should get them a little bit more organized. So it's not, which book is this picture in? I know you did it, Mom. So, but and they're family ones. It might be an individual kid, an individual event, or it might have all of us. 9 times out of 10, the pictures have lots of people in them. So they're mine. And if the kids want to make a copy of them or whatever, so they can have them, take a picture, they're more than welcome to. So, anybody else have anything else they'd like to share? I'm going to switch it so it's all four of us again, maybe. There we go. We're all there again. So,
So we all just got to see. Oh, go ahead.
Nope, go ahead.
was gonna say, we just all got to see the new mini catalog, and I think we're excited about all the scrapbooking stuff that was in there and on the online exclusives. And there is another Memories and More pack for Christmas, which I'm super excited for. That was one of the things that I was looking. I always look for those whenever I get a new catalog comes out to see which ones and what I'll make with it. So that's something on my mind right now.
Did you have a favorite product, Rachel?
The favorite product from the mini?
From the mini or the online, either one.
Either one. Okay. So I wrote down, I have a list, of course, the Joyful Days, Memories and More. That's on my must get.
Oh.
And then they have a really cute gingerbread one that I'm loving.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a fun pet love one.
Okay, you're cutting out.
That I'm excited to use as well. Oh,
can you guys hear her?
I can hear her.
I could hear her, but
okay, good. hopefully if not. So the pet love is the one, my online exclusive one. And I don't know if you heard, I have a dog, so she will get some scrapbooking done as well. She's very photogenic.
So. I love that.
I was just gonna say that.
How about you, Amelia?
Okay, I was gonna say I have loved hearing all these things and seeing things from you guys that were like from our beginning scrapbooking and I don't know, it's just fun to learn. I mean, I've known you guys for years now, but I still love to learn more about you. And I'm excited for the new mini catalog and the new online exclusives that will come out in September too. But so maybe we should just do another live. Do another live and share some of our favorites then.
That would be fun.
Anyway.
Oh yeah.
But my favorite thing in the new mini catalog is the stamp set called Happy Place. And
yes.
And I just think it will make the greatest titles for scrapbook pages. I wish it had coordinating dies. I want every stamp set to have a coordinating die set, though. Anyway, I love that one, and I do love all the new scrapbooking kits that are coming and all of that too. So nice.
Okay, sorry,
Lynda,
I missed a little bit there.
I was gonna say I'm gonna have to find that.
and then I realized that was why I couldn't hear you guys anymore. So anyway, I'm back. Thankfully, the broadcast is on my computer and not my phone.
Nice.
So, did you share your favorite, Lynda?
No. So there were lots of things that I did like. There was a stamp set that I think I'm going to do my Christmas cards with this year that was called, I can't remember. It was a religious one though. And I really, really liked that one.
But, A Child is Born.
Yes, that one. That one I really liked. But kind of to give you an idea of how my brain thinks as I look through stuff, like there's one called it's called Homemade Treats. Okay. And it's all about making cookies. And they even have a stamp that shows the dough laid out on the table and then the cookies like cut out of the dough. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I guess I'm going to have to just make cookies with my kids because I got to scrapbook it now. So
I'm so glad you said that, Lynda.
My brain thinks.
I didn't even know what that stamp was. I'm like, what is that image of? And I'm so glad you told me. I had no idea.
Yeah,
like
the sugar cookies
it had like the negative around it. Yeah. That's so funny.
She's like going, oh, did someone put that in there by accident?
It was like a hat almost. I didn't even know what it was, but it's on my list. I was going to get it regardless. So. Thank you.
I didn't hear what yours was, Amelia. What was yours?
My favorite thing was the Happy Place stamp set. Oh, it's got a great big happy, and then there's other words that you can pair with it. And the happy, it's got a very tropical, beachy look to it. But I just thought it was great titles.
I loved that one.
That one has a big star by mine.
Yeah.
Mine was the Light and Wonder bundle. You guys know which one that one was?
Yeah,
It's the Aurora Borealis one.
Oh yeah, that was really pretty.
I was like, oh, I love this. Not that I have successfully taken a picture of the Aurora Borealis yet, but I have made lots of fun projects with that, and I just loved it. But it also, my card when I went on my Alaskan cruise was an Aurora Borealis, and it won. So I was like, oh, I have to get that just so I can make a scrapbook page. I'm kind of like Lynda. I was like, oh, I need that for this. I have to buy it just for that. But on the online exclusives, they have a new Halloween scrapbooking kit.
That one was really
excited
cute.
about. And they have 2 suites that I honestly really loved. There's a new fall with the leaves and stuff like that I'm like, no, I need the whole thing. And modern Christmas one, which was Christmas trees, but it was kind of untraditional colors. So I was really excited. There's actually 2 different Christmas tree set. I guess I'm a Christmas tree person because I loved both of those. Those were probably my two favorites. The other one I did have starred, like Amelia said, is that Happy Place one. I immediately was like, oh yeah, we need this one for cards, for scrapbooking, for just, to make me a sign. This is my happy place. So excuse me, those were my favorite and super excited. If you guys are not aware, as Stampin' Up! Demonstrators, we get a sneak peek early. We also get to order them early. So we're all anxiously awaiting August 3rd, I think, is when we can start ordering.
I think, isn't it the 5th? Or maybe it's the 3rd.
In there.
Yeah.
Of August. And start demonstrating with those, but we get to see them, and so I'm sure we'll be sharing projects and stuff from those already. If you haven't even seen the new online exclusives, I'm still ordering all the ones that just came out because there's super cute ones still on my wish list on those as well. Anything else you guys would like to share with our friends out there? Thank you again for joining us for our very first live bonus episode here.
This was so much fun.
It was fun. It was.
Yeah. I learned fun. I'm going to put this out there. I'm going to ask kind of one last question to finish this up. What has been kind of your favorite thing about doing Scrapped and this experience and watching the episodes and stuff like that? We're going to start with you, Rachael.
Ooh, my favorite thing about doing Scrapped is it's kind of like when you want to lose weight and you need a group support to get you, you join the group so that way you can do it. I feel like that's what it is for me for Scrapped. I don't think I would do it. I wouldn't have the motivation unless I had a reason or someone else to kind of nudge me along saying, keep going, you're doing great. And I feel like that's what it's been like for me with this Scrapped series that we've created, that you guys are awesome at cheering me on. And even though you guys are amazing, 1,000 times different style, and just, I think, awesome at what you do. And I always seem like mine's subpar, but that's the beauty of it, is that I'm learning and you guys are pushing me to help me grow. So that's my favorite part so far.
What about you, Lynda?
I think mine is, I've wanted to do more videos for a long time. So I think this is giving me a reason, because I was really good at talking myself out of all the other reasons I had. So this is giving me a reason to do it once a month. So that's been really nice to get back into that.
Oh, that's a good one. How about you, Amelia? This was your idea, but I know you were probably the one with the least experience in doing it.
in doing the YouTube?
Doing the YouTube and stuff. Not scrapbooking, but...
I would have to say it's the friendships that we have it's my favorite part. And I love like hearing what you have to say to each other, you know, or and what you say to me, and you know, just the friendship has been the best part about it all. So, and I'm grateful. Also, what Rachael said, to have that extra push to do this, because I have wanted to do something like this for a long time, and I do want to do more. So hopefully I'll get, you know, push forward.
I'm going to say ditto to all of those things, and add in, I love what I'm learning from you guys. Things that I wouldn't have thought of, things that I'm like, oh, I need to try that. In fact, I've even added things into my own pages after I've watched your guys's and said, okay, this was like what so and so did. Because I'm learning new tips and tricks. So I love that. I love that it pushes me to do it and gives me an opportunity to share and put things and share what I love. And again, I love, like Amelia said, I love our group. I love how we support each other, and I love our group chat. We do have a Facebook group, so please join that. I think I put the link on my page, but we need to, it's simply called Scrapped with the exclamation mark. We need to send out some more invites, and that will allow you guys to share your projects with us as well, because we would love to see what you're doing. And please share with us your thoughts, and I hope we're inspiring you guys to get out there and scrapbook, to try something different, to do something new, to try some great products, and you know, to share and keep those memories. That, I think that's the biggest thing we want you all doing, is just to get those memories down, because someday you may not have them and you're going to wish that you did. I will be honest. So, anything else you guys want to add?
Nope. I think it's been so fun. I loved it.
This was awesome.
This is wow. Thanks again for joining us. We will see you next month. We have, let's see, it's Halloween, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So excited.
Yep.
Halloween projects. And then we have a couple more ideas already coming up. If you have things you'd like to see us do or share, or a challenge you want to throw out there, let any of us know. We'd be happy to see what we can do on that. And thanks again for joining us. Have a STEMtastic night, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.